Hey, guess what day it is? MMK Day. We're going to start off with some questions.
Why was Elvis's funeral rushed?
I'm really not sure on that question of what you mean by rush, but Elvis's funeral, it wasn't rushed. It was basically, if you could say typical, I mean, it was done in the Southern tradition, and I mean, it wasn't rushed in any way that I know of.
We usually bury our dead like 2 to 3 days after they
Yeah,
die out here.
yeah, something like, and like I said, they had the viewing and all that. I hope I answered your question.
Were Billy and Joe on the last tour with Elvis?
Mom and Daddy was on the last tour with Elvis. Was a good tour, and like I said, they were looking forward to going on the next tour. Elvis, like I said, was hyped up, and they were, and the whole gang really was. And he had talked about that next tour that he was going to do that he didn't get to do, of how great it was going to be.
Did Gladys have another son in 1946?
No, and I don't know where this comes from. Gladys, when she had the twins, Elvis and Jesse, the doctor advised her not to have any more children. And as far as I know, like I said, they took that. But yeah, people come up with it. But no, she didn't have any other children that I'm aware of.
What exactly is a double first cousin?
Double first cousin, Patsy was Elvis's double first cousin. Patsy's daddy, Vester, was Vernon's brother. Patsy's mother, Aunt Cletus, was Gladys's sister. So brother and sister married, that makes the double first cousin. At least that's what they call it in the southern area.
Did Elvis ever go to the Playboy Mansion?
From what I've talked to Dad, if he did, he never mentioned it. I think the answer to that is no. He never mentioned it, and there again, he's Elvis Presley. Why would he want to go to the Playboy Mansion? I'm not knocking the Playboy Mansion, but be careful, I'll get in the doghouse.
What celebrities visited Elvis at Graceland?
Oh, off the top of my head, I jotted a few down. Of course, Billy Swan was there in the early years before he ever got famous. Jack Lord, Natalie Wood, Robert Conrad, of course, Jerry Lee, Nick Adams, T.G. Shepherd, and this is just to name a few. I mean, there were so many I couldn't sit here and name them all. Ann Margaret was there. She come for the funeral. But over the years, I mean, that's just to name some, and maybe we'll answer that question again with Dad, and he can name some more for you.
Why did Elvis never do talk shows like Johnny Carson?
The Colonel advised him not to do those. During all that time, Elvis was in big demand, and the Colonel thought that to keep Elvis back a little bit from the limelight, and also just to be honest, Colonel was a businessman, and if he felt if Elvis didn't get paid, then Elvis didn't do it.
Do you know anything about Elvis breaking a metal folding chair in his kitchen?
I'm sure Dad knows. I do know he broke a lot of things in his kitchen, in the bedroom, or wherever he was at. Elvis had a high temper, and that's the way he took it out. He didn't take it out so much on people. I know one time I was up there at Graceland having breakfast, and the maid had carried his breakfast up, and it wasn't but just a short time she come back, and shit was everywhere, and he basically had just took it and threw it to the roof. He wasn't mad at her, he was just mad at something else, and I hope I explained. That's just the way Elvis was. I mean, he had a temper. So yeah, he broke and busted and dented up a lot of things. Material things just didn't mean much to him.
That was the last question.
That was the last question. All right, with that, look, I want to say, hey, I appreciate all the subscribers. We actually broke over 10,000. Tickled to death about that. I hope we just keep climbing. If you hadn't subscribe, and it's absolutely free. It costs you nothing. So subscribe. Hey, appreciate y'all all watching our channel. And then I got a little something that I want to say. Tomorrow is mine and Teresa course, you know Teresa does the film, and it's our anniversary. And I just want to say, hey, without her, I don't know what I would do or where I'd go. She's been the greatest thing in my life ever.
You're so sweet.
And baby, hey, you already know I'm hard-headed sometimes and I stay in the doghouse a lot. And hopefully this will keep me out this weekend. But I love you.
I love you too.
And it's like our old saying, it's just like that.
Just like that.
And remember what we always say.
Happy. Okay.
We always live Elvis.
And happy Easter, everyone.
Oh yeah, happy Easter. I'm sorry.